All right, everyone, welcome. Another video. Flying through them. I think this has been a good pace these last couple of videos, trying to keep them as short and focused as possible. And I think we're kind of at that phase now where we're doing like a lot of important things that are like more tight and tiny, such as getting like our storage working, getting our environment configuration working, and now getting theme stuff working. So in the last video, we kind of got a start on theme, but just in a storage, just in a way to manage it from the user preferences. And that was mostly just came out of us wanting to have an example of why we wanted to convert to this to actually store multiple things. I just wanted a tangible example, but I realized let's actually do that now. So let's do this. We're gonna go to our our main.dart, and let's see. So we have theme data, which we just kind of have hard coded in here, right? So we're going to actually make this dynamic, essentially using our user preference provider like we are for here to allow us to change things and all that kind of stuff. So maybe before we get to that, let's actually build the stuff in our UI to actually manage that. And in which case, we have our drop down for language. I'm just going to copy and paste this. And we're going to do language first and then maybe theme. So we'll just call this theme. And now what we actually want to watch, oh, I realized we're missing, there was a place we could have done a select here. So here, we're actually going to do dot select and do that same kind of thing, v dot locale, and then we can get rid of this here. There. Just small little refactor using our lovely select. So here, what we actually want to select now, and I'll just because we made this change already, we're just going to do this thing. We have our user preferences provider select v. We want to actually use v dot theme name, and obviously to language name is not a thing. Let's just do that for now. And our drop down button now will be of type string, but let's make this better. Let's actually make this a little bit better. We're going to maybe make a new feature. I'm going to get rid of our, we don't really need this feature anymore because we moved it to our user preferences thing, which became part of core. I guess, let's make a model, let's make a model called like app theme. Now we're not actually going to use a model. This is going to be just an enum for now, because enums are very powerful. So let's just have light and dark, and that's all. And eventually we'll add more stuff to this probably, but we might not have to. Okay, so now we have our lovely app theme, and that's basically what I want to use to manage the state of our theme. It doesn't really make sense to just have the word light. I hate strings. I think we've learned that in the last few videos. Like, get out of here. So let's go to our user preferences right here. And instead of using theme name, let's actually use app theme. See, I like the word app. Like, a lot of times in my classes, I'll put the word app in front of something. Like, I don't want to just call it theme, because theme's actually like something built into Flutter, into the material. So having the word app is usually a safe thing to do. App theme, app button, app, like all the kind of custom stuff. Okay, so there we have our app theme, and we're just gonna call it theme, not theme name. We're gonna require theme. The thing we're gonna be passing in now is called app theme, and we'll just call it theme. And basically here we can go Command D, boom. Now we have this, and let's just fix our other errors now. So in our provider, our init theme actually needs to not return a string, but return an app theme. And save theme, okay, we'll come back to that. But basically now we want to do app theme dot light. And yeah, we're going to do a to-do. We'll get to that in this video of actually checking what the user's device is. Okay, so what I want to do, because I love enums, is we're actually going to do some stuff here where we're actually going to have a final string called, let's just call it value. And we're going to require that to be passed in. And we're literally going to just use the word light and the word dark here. Put a semicolon. Okay. So this is going to be returning a string. Okay, that's fine. But we need to convert this to this. So what we want to actually do, if this save theme is not null, let's just make a value called app theme. And it's going to be equal to, we'll take our app theme enum dot values. And we want to do a first where or null, which is one of my favorite tricks. The problem is we have to import a package for this. Not install a package. This comes with at least Flutter, but we want to use the package collection and collection.dart. This gives us a lot of extra functionality on things like lists, including first where or null, which I'm surprised just isn't built in. There is kind of a way to do it, but it's ugly. So we'll just call this theme. So this is the same. This is the same as first where, and we can do theme.value equals saved theme, like that. The difference in first where or null is this is not necessarily an app theme, it's a nullable app theme. So now we can check if app theme does not equal null, we'll return app theme. Why might that be null? Well, maybe there was something stored in storage that it couldn't find called light or dark, or maybe you removed a theme from your app and it was already stored in storage, and this will just make sure that it only falls back if it's a supported sort of thing. Okay, so we fixed that. We'll keep that to do there for now. Let's get our other things going. So in our provider now, we'll just call this theme. So you'll see now this is actually an app theme, meaning we can pass this stuff through really nicely. Also in our provider now, when we're setting the theme, here we go. So this won't be a string anymore. This will be an app theme. And here we want to set theme to this. And here, what do we want to set? Well, we want to take the theme.value. And remember, .value is just something we made, right? Enum since Dart 3 point something, or yeah, since 3 point something, are a lot more powerful. You can actually add like properties on them and stuff like that, which are super handy, especially for this kind of thing, to be able to put these values in. Okay, so now we'll just close some, save that, close some files, and we're getting some issues here because theme name is no longer a thing. We actually just want to watch theme. And what's this error? It's saying theme isn't a string required by the closure, and that's because subtitle is expecting a string. So here we can let's actually go to our theme. Let's also make another one called string label. So like this is kind of like what we would store in our local database, or like a unique value. Label is how it would look to the user. Now this isn't necessary. This isn't perfect because when we get to if we wanted to localize stuff, we can't really do it this way because you probably want like light to be translated and stuff like that. But for our purposes, just to show this is totally fine. So here we'll just do light, and here we'll do dark. So now over here we can use v.theme, and then we're selecting on v.theme, and we want to use .label somewhere in this. There we go, .label. So we're basically watching that, and because we're using the selector, if the theme changes, it's going to rebuild what it needs to make this work, and then use the label within it. Okay, so for this, we probably want something like art track. I don't know. Let's just see. We're gonna get some major errors. Yeah, exceptions because we didn't finish this. The drop-down button is not going to be of type locale. It's going to be of type app theme. And what we want to be watching is selecting our theme, and we want to set theme, which we already made, to value. Now for our drop-down menu, we need to actually, for the value, we would actually just use app theme, which is an enum.light, and make this say light. App theme.dark, and make this say dark. Now we could, we could do this thing. I might as well show it. We could of course do app theme.label, right? Again, not going to work for the translation part of things, but I do like it. And then here we use dark. So then it's just stored in one place. Okay, let's do a rebuild. Also, why's my debugger? Okay, there we go. We got rid of the step through at least. All right, so let's go to our settings now, and we should see theme. I want to find a better icon. That's like my biggest pet peeve is finding icons that I like. Like I think there's like an art palette or something. Palette. That's like a storage palette. Paint. Like how does a piano but not paint? Art. Art icons dot artist. Like, or let's just search for theme. Maybe theme is like, how is there no color? Okay, color lens. I think maybe that is closer. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Something that looks like this, you know, a little art palette. Yeah. Okay, so now we have theme, and let's see if this stuff works. It's not going to obviously change our theme. Don't expect that it's going to go dark. We haven't done any code for that, but it did change this. And if we're storing it in local storage, we should have it set to dark when we come back. We are. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So two more things we need to do. One is relying on the device as sort of a default. Right now it's using, you know, whatever I set, or it's falling back to light. We kind of hard-coded a fallback. The second is actually updating the theme. I think we should probably do making the theme change. That would make probably the most sense. All right. Okay. So we're going to go to our main.dart. Similar to where we did the locale stuff, we're going to do stuff with our theme. So theme, we have our theme like here. That's cool. We can also have something called dark theme, and we could essentially have another theme. You know, theme data, primary color, colors.red. Is there a way we can even test this? Not really. Oh, what's this? That's like a secondary color. But whatever. You would have your theme. We're gonna do this in a minute, but we have that. And then we have something called theme mode. And here, what I want to be doing is go ref.watch. We're going to use our user preferences provider .select, and we want to take our value and go value.theme. So it's only going to watch theme, and it's going to return that theme. Now here's a problem, because theme mode is something that we're not returning from here, but we can fix that very easily. We're going to make a third thing here, and we'll just call it, it'll be called theme mode. So theme mode is something that's built into, let's just call it mode, because we already have a theme. And this is what, you know, a material app, and I think even Cupertino apps and stuff, we can hook into to be like, have these sort of ones. There is, of course, ways to have, you could have many themes. You don't just have to have like a system, a light, and a dark, but this is just a nice way, and probably the most common way, you know, to do it. Okay, so we have theme mode, and then here we need to go this.mode, and we would just, in the light mode, just go theme mode dot light, and theme mode dot dark. And now over here, we actually go dot mode on this. So we're watching the mode, which is just a getter basically on a particular theme to conform to this. So let's save all that. Okay, cool. Now a way we can test this. Let's set this up kind of in a good way. Okay, so what I like to do, there's many ways to do themes and whatnot, but we're going to actually create a class for this to manage all of our stuff in one nice spot. So let's go to lib. Oh, we already have a theme folder. Beautiful. What's in? Oh, there's nothing in it. Okay, there's nothing in our theme folder. I don't even know why that exists then. Let's just delete it. Let's delete it. You get out of here. This is being used, right? Yeah, that's our installation. That's generated code. So, yeah, you know what? We're going to make a theme folder, because this is where we're going to put stuff about our theme. It's also where, when we get to our like actual UI design kind of side of this project, it's where we're going to essentially like have all of our like custom components and colors and all that kind of stuff. So let's make a new folder called components, just to know we're going to put something in there at some point. But I think this can go right in the root. Let's just call it app theme.dart. Let's just call it themes.dart, because we're going to have multiple themes. So we're going to make something called app theme. And what we're going to require being passed in is something called theme data, which is, you know, just part of material, theme data. So now we need to have a const constructor on this, obviously, app theme, and we're just going to require this .theme data to be passed in. All right. Now within here, we're going to create a couple of different factories, and a factory is a way to kind of like create, you know, an instance of a model using sort of like a prefab, a preset. So we have to do app theme, and we'll do .light as an example. And similarly, we're going to have one for dark. And this is where, yeah, you could, if you kind of change stuff a bit, you could have like a, you know, whatever other themes you wanted, you know. And from this, we need to basically return an app theme constant here. So let's just make a variable called theme data equals, and this is where we would use our theme data, not our app theme. And what we ultimately need to return from here to conform to this is we want to return an app theme by passing in that theme data, right? That's just following this right here. And we can do a similar thing here. Okay. So we can start with our light one. We can do things like, use material 3 true, of course. And that's just the default now anyways. But at one point it wasn't when it didn't exist. And also when they kind of rolled it out, it was an opt-in sort of thing. It's now the default in Flutter. The next thing we want to do is color scheme. So we can do color scheme, and this is not going to be a tutorial on like all the things you can do with theming, because there's a lot of stuff you can do, and we'll be, I'm sure, touching on it here and there, especially when we get to like our design part of this project. But let's just do like from swatch, just a nice way to do it. And we need to essentially choose a primary color or a primary swatch. And let me remember how to do this. Yeah, how does a primary swatch? Material color. Oh yeah, you just use a color. So color dot blue, for instance, colors dot blue. That's like, what do we have over here? Let's not change it. Yeah, colors dot blue, perfect. So we do that, and basically like this is what we want to do here too. Now what we want to override importantly in the dark theme is our brightness value. So we're going to do brightness, which we set to, this is inside theme data, brightness dot dark. And similarly, we'll do this in the light one as well, but I believe that is the default, brightness dot light. Okay, so we have this stuff. I'm just going to add some trailing commas to make it more beautiful. There, beautiful. And instead of just doing our theme stuff here, now we can actually do app theme dot light, like that, app theme dot light, and then we actually have to get the theme data from it, like that. And for dark theme, we basically do the same thing, dark theme, but then we do dark dot theme data. All right. And wow, I don't know what's going on here. Cool. Let's just do a full rebuild. Sometimes these big changes really break stuff. Okay, it says brightness equals null, color scheme brightness. What the heck? I must have screwed something up here. Let's see. Where's this brightness coming from? Brightness is coming from, maybe that's the wrong place. No, that seems right. Okay. Okay. Let's just fully stop this. I got in some weird debugging mode I didn't want to be in anyway, so it's worth a little restart. All right, I made a mistake. The brightness value is supposed to be within our color scheme, not just right in the theme data. So we're just gonna put that there, and we're gonna save, and this error goes away. So now look, we have a dark theme. Amazing. Obviously, it doesn't look amazing. It's a little bit too gray for me, but it's working. Let's see if we can change our theme now. So we're in dark. Let's go to light, and we'll see it changes to light. That's cool. That blue is so weird. Primary, so I don't know. Why? I'm just going to get rid of the primary swatch. Don't know why maybe because we're using from swatch. I'm just going to actually do it this way for now, brightness.dark, and get rid of color scheme, and do brightness, yeah, brightness.light. Let's just see if that works. There we go. Okay. So now we have, this is like how the app looked before. It was nice and light. And then if we go to dark, we get our nice and dark. And okay, that looks much better. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to do that. Now, at this point, I'm not going to go in and be like, okay, we want to change all these colors and do these different things and all that kind of stuff, because that's going to come. Like I said, we've been really trying to design this from a just functionality point of view. It's really, the best way to develop these kind of things. Make it look, kind of nice so you don't hate yourself working on it. But, we're just kind of using like sort of very basic widgets, lists, like what do we have? List tiles, we have, cards and stuff. But we will be, at some point, when we get there, doing like a fresh, full, UI implementation of this, where we'll be creating our own custom components and all that kind of stuff. And that's where we'll come back to theme. Of course, on your own, you can take this however you want. You can add colors, you can do whatever. You can make more than just a light and dark theme and figure it out. Okay, so lastly, we just want to deal with the fact that we want to fall back to, a device, your system settings, right? So let's figure out how we want to do that. Okay, so yeah, the last to do here is in our theme provider. Sorry, we don't really have a theme provider, actually. We have a user preferences provider. In our preferences provider, we have this nice to-do. So we're just kind of forcing it to be light theme if none of this stuff is true. But let's actually make this change. Now, something that's kind of annoying now, we have local storage, right? So testing this is actually a bit annoying because we're saving it, to storage and then using that if someone's changed it. So temporarily what I'm going to do is actually remove the saving to storage just so we can test this a lot easier. And we're going to change our key that we use in our storage. So we have that storage.theme key. I'm going to make it just like theme1, because otherwise it's going to just, be there. So if I rebuild now, it should fall back to just light as we would want. Okay, we'll come back to that and it'll be great. Now for our default, a couple ways we can do this. You can get the the easiest way is to get the brightness. You can get it just by, there's like a media query context, but we don't have access to context in here, of course. So we have to do something with system. And I looked this up just before because I don't remember. And what we can do is we can make a variable called, we'll just call it brightness. And we can use the schedule binding. Hopefully this still works. .instance.platform_dispatcher.platform brightness. So we can just do that. And then this returns a brightness. And what we want to do is we want to basically be like, if brightness is equal to, and this is, I think, the same brightness we were looking at before. So if it was equal to brightness.light, or let's actually check. If it's equal to brightness.dark, we'll use our app_theme.dark. Otherwise, we'll fall back to app_theme.light. So let's build that. And we should go back to light. Now I'm going to reverse this just as a test, because this should, in theory, set it to being dark mode. Yes, it does. So we're good there. But yeah, we want that to be like that, and everything's good. So let's rebuild again, and we're back to light. And that's just because my phone's set in light mode. Let's actually set the phone to dark mode. And we're going to go to our, where do you do this again? I think it's in developer. You can do it. Yeah, dark appearance. So we can change this here. And we're going to go back to our app. Now, right now, this isn't going to change because we're actually just doing this in one particular place. And we're going to, see if we can get around that a bit. But when the app boots, it's going to use that as the default. Okay, and then if someone overrides it, the idea is, so I can go here, you're going to see it set to dark, but I can change it to light. And we have this commented out, but normally it would then be overwritten. So that's cool. What we can do, though, is we can actually do this a little bit differently, I'm thinking. We can actually use the brightness.system. Oh, wait a minute, that's not actually a way to do it. I'm trying to remember how I want to do this. Because what I want to do is, if they haven't overridden their theme, I want the app to essentially, if I change it to dark mode, it just kind of changes, and vice versa. So let's just think about this for a sec. We have our theme. Let's go to our init theme, app theme. So let's actually have a third one, just called system. And we'll call this, there we go, theme mode.system. So that is where I was trying to do that. Okay, so now we have a third theme. Yay! So what we're going to do, we don't need that. We are going to actually, I'm going to keep this code because I'm going to want to reference it in a bit. But by default, what we really want to return is our app theme.system. Okay. Now, in our main.dart now, where do we have this? So we have our dark theme, we have our theme mode. Cool. So now it should, yeah, this should actually just work now that I think about it. So it's using dark. And if we come back here and go to light, change it to light here, I think this will just work. It's now light. So we're doing that. And it's cool because, yeah, we have, I think we didn't do a green arrow rebuild. And, oh, yes, we need to also change in our settings screen because we now have a third option. We also want a drop-down value for system. So we can do system and change this to system. So this is a nice way to do it because we're going to, allow people to just rely on their system. So it's set to system now. I can set it to dark, it goes to dark. I can set it to light, it goes to light. But if I set it back to system, it's going to be in, whatever your system is. Cool. And we can go and change this. Now, one caveat here. Actually, no, it's not even a caveat. I think this will just work. So I've changed it. What did I change it to? I changed it to system. That's the default anyways. Yeah, I think we're good because I'm just going to step through this in our user preferences provider. Yeah, we can get rid of this now. We don't even need that. I was just thinking like we don't want to store it if it's system, but I think it's fine to store it because we're going to store it. We're going to use theme.value, which in this case will just be the word system. And if for some reason someone stores that and it gets into this load, we're going to look, it's going to find one, it's going to make sure that that one exists, and it's going to set it. And if it doesn't, it just falls like this anyway. So yeah, we're good. We're off to the races. We're done. Theming is done. I know there's a lot more work to like make your theming look good, but just using the sort of the default, dark and light mode in Flutter is, works totally fine. So let's go back to our settings. Let's change this to English. Let's change this to light. And, even when we rebuild, even though our phone's in dark mode, we still have, the light mode because we've overridden it. But we'll go back to system. I like it. Okay, cool. We now have a dark mode. This, now you guys, you can kind of like take your sunglasses off watching the stream. Super happy about that. Sorry it took so long. All right, have a great one. I'll see you guys in the next video.